spoke exclusively to the top man at Millennium who wanted to reassure Vancouver taxpayers about the Athletes Village. Sharam Malik told us the village is a private development and insists that taxpayers are not exposed to any risk whatsoever. While that may be reassuring, Catherine Urquhart examined some of Millennium's other projects that have their own unique problems.
It's prime real estate in West Vancouver, owned by the Millennium Development Corporation. The 20-acre site has been cleared for 349 apartments and townhomes, but construction has stopped. And now 4 contractors have filed liens totaling about $400,000. Still, the developer says the project will go ahead.
Evelyn Drive, I think we're fortunate. It's a very prime site in a very prime location, and so we are confident that we will be successful in pre-selling the units to buyers, and then after that is our plan to start construction on it. Okay. So we've never actually started construction on the buildings.
Whether it proceeds or not, West Vancouver taxpayers won't be on the hook. The city's planning department was quick to point that out 2 weeks ago when we first reported on Evelyn's financial challenges.
Whereas this is a private sector project, so we're not party to any of their financial issues. We're quite comfortable on the any sort of relationships they have with us in terms of having adequate securities for them doing various works that we have allowed to date.
It's a similar story in Nanaimo, where Millennium is under contract to build a hotel and luxury residences, part of the Vancouver Island Conference Centre. Millennium got the land for just $10 and has now missed several deadlines to get their financing in. Nanaimo is not guaranteeing any loans to Millennium. Critics say there is reason to be worried.
Taxpayers should be really concerned. One of my concerns is how much money have we wasted in the last 3 years keeping this process with Millennium going through staff time, council time, etc. It has to be considerable.
Millennium now has a new deadline to build the hotel in Nanaimo. It's June 2010. As for the West Vancouver project, Millennium says it plans to start marketing the condos in the spring.
Well, for the final word on this, we'll go to Keith Baldry in Victoria. Keith, give us an idea of what impact this could ultimately have on the Vancouver mayor's race.
Well, Chris, I think this issue has effectively taken over the mayoralty race. It's the dominant issue right now. It's getting more attention than any other issue that's surfaced in the mayoralty race. And the person who has the most to lose here, and I think he's scrambling, is Peter Ladner. He's the one who was at the meeting. His opponent, Gregor Robertson, is not part of the council, of course, was not at that meeting. Peter Ladner has now become the only councillor, really, the only civic politician associated with this controversy that's threatening to grow much bigger into a full-blown scandal. He's out there trying to explain himself. He's hemmed in by the rules they play at City Hall in terms of those in-camera meetings. But he's in the last position he wants to be in the dying days of a campaign associated with a negative controversy. It's very negative. He hasn't been able to sell the public, I think, on the need for secrecy in this situation. So just 8 days to go before the vote. Peter Ladner continues to be out there in the media, but I think every time the public sees him, they also see this negative controversy. That's bad news for him. And if he loses this election, I think he's going to look back and blame this controversy for his defeat more than anything else. But he's got 8 days to pull it out. We'll see what happens. But right now, Gregor Robertson, I think, is in the driver's seat.
All right. Keith, thanks very much for your thoughts. Keith Baldry reporting live from Victoria.